All right, very, very strange opening right now. 3-3 invasion on the second move. That is one I have not seen in some time. Definitely one I actually have not seen in some time. I'm almost tempted to do this now, just because he has this Hane. I think I am going to do this just because he has that Hane. Interesting, he does that. Okay. This is like weird because he can't connect. He has to play the ko with me. But then he just dies. This game makes no sense at all. So you sacrifice a corner. So you're already behind. You sack a corner, so you're already behind. This is honestly like the weirdest stuff. Well, I'm gonna do that and fix that problem first. I mean, I did this because it's Sente, right? So I want to fix the problem first. You got to know how to play these corner. You really have to know how to play the corner plays. Yeah, I don't know if this is good for him. Yes, I do sacrifice my Moyo over here, but I've already got a lot of territory. What? I feel like you shouldn't play obscure plays unless you already know how to play them. I don't think you should play obscure plays unless you already know how to play them. Because if you do, I'm actually going to try this. I probably should listen to my own advice, honestly. I don't think I'm going to do this. I'm willing to play along and to see how this goes. That is definitely the wrong move. I was actually afraid that he cuts, because that would actually be somewhat problematic for me. Be very problematic for me if he actually cut. But since he didn't actually cut, this actually comes out okay. Yeah, it's not a good move for him. He has no liberties. So technically if I do this, he's dead. You've got to know how to play these corners, all right? Like, if you're going to play aggressive 3-3, you like 100% have to know how to play these corners. This is like awful for him. This is like really bad for him. This is actually really bad for him because he doesn't really have that many options here. He's gonna he's really gonna die one way or the other. Like something's gonna give. It's not a good move either. Something's gonna give, and I basically want to kill something at this point. And even if I don't kill something, like my head is already out here, and there's a good chance I'm just gonna get part of this as well, because this is always like at least guaranteed like some points. Although I'm not interested in that right now. There's not much there because I can just push. I'll take the points first, thank you very much. I think this might actually get to be a problem if he he disconnects here though. That's the problem with this. Like I said, I will take the points first. You have 0 eyes here. Although if he extends down, it is Sente for him. So the way I'm going to play this is I'm actually going to charge this out here and then take Sente. Because he can't actually do anything. I don't think he can do anything anyways. I might as well just do that. So he already gives me that, I think? I'm not sure. All right, I'm going to just come out here. See, that's kind of pointless. Do I cut? Or do I take the safe route? No, I think I'm just going to take the safe route. I mean, I've already got more than enough. I've definitely got more than enough, like, out of this corner and out of this side. And he's still pretty weak. Maybe I should have cut. Maybe I should have cut. Probably should have cut, now that I think about it. Kind of broke my influence over here, but I probably should have cut. Okay. I'll just take the bottom territory. I don't think this was a good play by me, but it really doesn't matter.
Yoyomi now starts.
I don't need to connect that. But I'm not really trying to kill anything either. It's not a good move. That is definitely not a good move. Not by him anyways. You know what? I'm just going to take the territory, because he has no territory. That might not be the most optimal move in the world, but it's a decent one. I think he should have just given up those two. He might have been better just giving up those two.
Yoyomi now starts.
Because now he's just dead. You have to, you actually absolutely have to keep, you absolutely have to keep extending this. He's honestly just making this worse for himself. I don't think I have to answer that. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to sack these 2 stones. I am going to sacrifice these 2 stones. And I didn't quite sacrifice these 2 stones yet, if you actually look at it. I don't know what that was for. Realistically, I'm going to connect, but I don't really know what that was for. I probably should have played something out here, actually. I definitely should have played something out there. He can make an eye here. I don't think it's that hard for him to make an eye here. He can actually cut this as well, so I can't actually do anything if he cuts that. Pretty sure he can make an eye here, but that's not the point.
8, 7.
I mean, the point is he
6,
has no territory,
5,
so he's like dead.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We'll review this game. Yeah, he actually plays the card. We'll actually review this game because this game is actually, like, there's a couple of moves I wanted to... There's definitely a couple of moves. There's definitely a couple of moves I wanted to review. I think he just killed himself. No, he can cut... No, that's still dead. See, like, this particular stone is irrelevant. That stone is kind of irrelevant. That stone is not all that relevant. Might have just killed himself. I think, yeah, there's a good chance he might have just killed himself. Very, very good chance he might have just killed himself. 'Cause I don't think he can fight this with me. There's definitely a way he could have actually... No, this is dead. It's absolutely 100% dead. He doesn't have any liberties. If he does this, I'm just going to curl here. And he has nothing then. I'll sacrifice a couple of these stones here because this is dead. See, like, since you're actually able to push in, you can just take these stones and let him run out here because it doesn't matter. It's extra juicy fighting, but he's still dead. That is perfectly fine, because that's kind of irrelevant right now. He just basically has no territory. I don't know what that purpose of that is. I guess he wants to fight with me in here, but even if I were to fight liberties with him here, I would still be ahead, I believe. And realistically...
9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Realistically, I don't think he has that many liberties here. Yeah, he definitely doesn't. Because to kill my liberties... Realistically, to kill my liberties, he would have to tighten his as well. And there's no way he's going to actually do that successfully. And plus I'm like 5 ahead, so it doesn't really matter. I don't even need to do anything here. I mean, it's not like this matters. Yeah, make sure you know how to... Look, you gotta make sure you know how to play the corners. You absolutely 100% have to make sure you know how to play the corners before you actually play the sequences. Because that, like, after he basically messed up here, he was way, way far behind. You gotta know how to play the corner sequences, 100%. There are actually, like, living techniques here. I mean, like, it didn't matter for him because I already won. At this point, yeah, like, there's still a liberty there, so it doesn't matter what I do. And there's 2 liberties down there. So I won this game. This was one from the beginning, but there's a couple of interesting things that... There's a couple of interesting things... that I actually want to review here. I mean, he just started playing this really bad, and this is basically knowing the corner Josekis and how the corner variations work out before you actually play them. First of all, like, that's not a very good move to start out. You should play one of the corners. So I do this, he does this. Now, realistically, the Joseki is I do this, he does this, I do this, he hanes, and I play elsewhere. That is the Joseki, but that's giving me like an extra corner spot, so I don't think that's good for him. But I decided to hane, and then that's not a very good move, because after I do this, now if you do this, I'm much more likely to double hane. You just put an extra stone there. So if you actually make this, trade, I'm much more likely to do it, because you just gave me an extra stone, and I have another stone here, so this is worth more now. So you don't really want to... I don't think you really want to do this like extra hane, because otherwise if you didn't have this extra hane and I do this, you extend, I do this, like not only do you have the double hane here when I do this, it makes me fall back in that. Like without that, I mean, I guess you still have that even with that, but like with an extra stone here, like it just solidifies this side a little bit more, and I, kill a couple more stones. So that doesn't really make too much sense when I double hane. That makes even less sense, honestly. I'm going to connect, obviously. But then playing out here, at most you have a ko. At most you have a ko here. And and wouldn't you know it, you really don't have any ko threats. Because if you do this, I'm going to take this. And then if you take it, essentially I'm just going to connect. And you're still dead at this point. So essentially, like, the most you have here is a ko. And I can actually connect this. Actually, yeah, I guess I can't. I can't really connect that. It wouldn't be alive if you just connect. But the thing is, like, the most you have here is a ko. And that's kind of problematic for you because you just gave up a corner on the start. So he actually needs to answer this. Regardless of which way he answers it, he needs to answer this. And then, you know, I get another move out here. And this is very bad for him. He gets a very small corner. I get a wall. So make sure you know what you're doing in these corners before you play them. This is the usual way it's done. This is the usual way it's done. But, I mean, since I actually Haned, and you don't, like, this is why you don't Hane first. Because if you Hane first, I'm going to double Hane when you Hane that way. So, essentially, like, if I Hane like this, essentially just go ahead and, like, I mean, like, go ahead and maybe, like, do this or something. That is the actual Joseki, or you can just keep extending, and I'll just keep extending. I definitely think this is better for black, and here you can take Sente and just, like, play something else like this. But I definitely think this is, like, better for black, because I think for me you didn't get that many points, and the wall is pretty thick, so I would like black better. But definitely, like, after you do this, I'm gonna double Hane because you have more stones there now. And he pretty much got the worst of all outcomes. He didn't even take the ko. Yes, he got 2 corner spots, but this corner is already mine. So he fell behind by a lot right there. So at this point, like, he's already down by a lot. But otherwise, we're going to go review this game more because it's actually quite interesting. He starts off by another 3-3 invasion. I was thinking about just taking the double Hane here and just letting him essentially get this, because that builds up my territory over here, but then he would probably invade next. And since I have the Gote, I really didn't want to do that since it was Gote for me. So I'm just gonna take the wall here and build up this Moyo. You really shouldn't do this. I mean, this is just not good, man. Like, he thinks it is Sente. I can't kill him. But the problem is if I take this gets rid of my cut problem. And this is Sente. So he basically gave up so much here. I take this approach. This actually, like, maybe I should have, instead of, like, going for the approach like that, I might have been better off just doing something like, maybe not. I mean, like, I'm just going to always kind of go with the approach because I'm going to use my thickness to attack is what I'm going to do. Here, I'm going to take the corner. So this is a weird move as well. I mean, I think he wants me to do this, but I'm not going to do that because if you do this and you connect, like, this is a problem because you can't, it's hard for you to disconnect like this. It is actually quite hard for you to disconnect like this. I mean, I can do that, right? And then I can just Hane up here. You essentially have to do this. I can do this. Then connect out, and that's not very good for white. So because this is an extension, like, you can't really cut me. I mean, you have to do this, and I was actually afraid he would cut here. But, you know, like, at this point, yeah, probably just something. I would probably just take the 3, not just take, like, the 3 stones, because the 3 stones is actually more than the 1 stone, obviously, but I still get this side. So as you can see, this isn't a great move for that right now. You could at this point just do this, or, like, just do this and let me take this, but obviously that benefits black and he wasn't willing to do that. But the thing is, like, you have to read these corners out. You definitely have to read these corners out. And doing this is probably the worst because now my head is out here. Your Moyo's, any kind of Moyo is broken and you still have problems down here. He does that. I'm going to come up right away and see. I'm going to actually come up right away and see what he does. I was thinking he would probably just do this and then give me this, which obviously is fine with me because I do actually have the ladder here. Breaks his Moyo, he gets a little bit here and a little bit here, but there's still a lot of stuff I can do here, right? So I was kind of like looking at that, but then he just kind of like does that, which this corner with this head out, I'm not really threatened at all. So I just fly out. Now, I actually didn't calculate this right. I can't actually do this because he has 4 liberties and I only have 3 at this point. So I can't do that. Although, like, honestly, this wouldn't have been too bad if I just did this. And then maybe, like, do something like this or something. 'Cause I'm pretty thick. If he does this, I'm just going to go up. I'm 1 ahead of him. So essentially, like, that would be really bad for him. I could just sacrifice the 3 and do something like this, I guess. But I didn't want to do that, so I wanted to get this side. It doesn't matter if I sacrifice this 1 stone. So he does that. I'm going to connect. He does that. I extend out. He extends. I extend. I wasn't quite expecting him to do that, but that's fine. Those 2 stones aren't that big. I come out. He comes out. Then I Hane. He does that. That's not a good move. That just solidifies that. That's not a very good move. He does that. I do that. Then I'm just going to take the cash at this point. And then, like, I took the cash because this group is still very, very weak and I can still attack it. So he disconnects. I take the Hane out. Connect, of course. That was a little bit surprising, honestly. I was wondering, like, I was actually trying to play out this variation in my head. I don't think this would have worked for him, though. I don't think I have the ladder here. I don't think I have the ladder here, but I can just do this and he can't do anything. I honestly can just do that and he can't really do anything. He wouldn't really be able to... Even if he does this, like... I mean, I would just kill these 2 at this point, and if he tries to kind of like fight at that point, then that would be really that would actually be really tricky for him, because that would basically just kill him. So he can't actually do that. So I guess I'm gonna do. I played this because I didn't want these 3 to die, obviously. So he does that. He forgot that I don't know if he forgot or something, whether I can do that or not. So I was actually thinking of, at this point, what I was thinking of, like, do I take the safe route or do I just do this? Because I can't read all the different transformations in my head if I just do this. I probably should have cut. If this was a close game, I probably would have cut, because I think the cut does actually favor me. Because even if he does like this, he still has to answer here, because if he doesn't, this ladder favors me. So I think I should have cut. But since I already killed all of this and killed all of this, I basically just took the much safer route. And I just took the much safer route and did this. But I'm pretty sure I should have cut. So if I cut, he can't go here because then he's dead. He can't go here because then he's dead. I'm pretty sure this ladder works for me. Yeah, it's not far enough on that stone, so I'm pretty sure it works for me. I'm not like 100% sure, but I would calculate it out a little bit more exactly. Yeah, it works. Barely, but it works for me. So like that ladder actually does work for me. So he can't actually he can't actually do that. So he has to like do something like this. And then I essentially can just do this. He can clamp down. But the thing is, at this point, like, I have enough liberties to get this whole thing. And this group is still not very strong. He does break my Moyo, though. But I would actually get this entire corner and this entire side. And he just doesn't have any points. This group's still not that strong. This group has problems. So he has a lot of problematic groups. He has a lot of problematic groups here. So I didn't cut. I did this. He does that. I take, and then he does this. Obviously, like, the peep is definitely there right now. And that makes his shape kind of bad. So I'm making a bit of territory over here too, because I already got a lot of cash in the corner and here. So just attacking this territory and then maybe using it to destroy whatever he has left down here. I can understand this, although I don't think it's a good move. This particular move I don't know about. Because that does allow me to peep. I mean, like, I really don't have, like, realistically, I don't have a very good chance of killing this group. He just screwed up in the end. So I Hane, he charges. I go over here to try to threaten to kill this group. And this is where you use your threat in one group to endanger the other one as well. He does that. That's not a good move. Realistically, that's not a good move because you're just making me stronger on the wall over here. This move, like, either just fly out, but that has problems as well, or there's not really a good answer to this, honestly. Maybe this, because if I do this and I try to, you can just kind of like come down, I guess. I mean, like, there's not really a good answer to this particular move right here. But that's really bad. I mean, yeah, you can solidify over here, but you're making my wall a lot stronger the other way. And I don't know, this cutting move, not good at all. Because you don't really solidify either side with this cutting move. And it gives me a lot of options. So I'm going to do this, he does this, I'm going to do this. So the thing is, like, my thought process is here. I already have all of this, and I have this territory. If I get these 2 stones, I essentially win. There's really no way he can win when I get those 2 stones. He doesn't have territory at all. So I'm just going to take... but he doesn't want to give me the territory. And obviously I'm not going to double Hane. I'm just going to destroy, like, everything he has in here. And if I destroy everything he has in here, he has no points. There's no way he's going to get so many points. So that's why I do this. If you estimate score, obviously I'm ahead by like 70 points. So as long as I break all this territory in here, I'm going to win regardless. This is a bad move because this move's always Sente, and since that's Sente, I can just come down here and you're dead. So that's a very bad move. At this point, just cut your loss. At this point, you should just resign, honestly. But because at this point, you can't really just cut your losses. It's very difficult to just cut your losses. But this is the worst because it lets me kill all of that, and it's also Gote now because I don't have to answer whatever you play. And the thing is, like, if you, let's say if you answer here, this obviously is the move I would do. And sure, you could do this. I would just go ahead and let you have that, and I would probably just kind of attack. No, I wouldn't attack the 3-3. I would probably just do this. I mean, I have enough to win, so I'm not really that, you know, I don't really care at this point. You can have whatever territory you can make in here, but it's not going to be enough. And the stuff down here is bigger anyways. So, and if you do this, I'm going to go on this side, obviously. So, I do that. He jumps. That's Sente for me. So, the thing is, I'm going to use sacrificing these 2 to maybe surround this right now. Realistically, at this point, doesn't matter what I play, but this would have been fine. That would have been fine. Even going over here would have been fine, although I don't want him to pressure this because he's still got a couple liberties over here. So maybe like playing this would have been fine as well. Or like, you know, just once he did this, maybe just playing this at first just to solidify this group and then do other stuff. Because regardless of what, you have so many extra points that you would just win. But let me actually go over this other fight over here. So he extends, I do that, he goes there, I do that. Yeah, he realizes that this group is actually in danger now, so I'm going to Hane first, he does that, I'm going to try to poke out all the eyes first. Realistically, like, this is just fine here. That's perfectly fine there. It doesn't matter if he lives. Really doesn't matter if he lives at all here. Just let him kind of have it. Just let him kind of have it. If he comes out, you can always try to kill him then. But the thing is, yeah, I probably just should have played that. Just let him live, get the territory, and call it a day, because there's no way he can win. It's probably what I should have done, but I wanted to make this game more interesting. So I'm trying to kill him. I didn't have that much hope of killing him, honestly. This move, I probably wasted. I probably should have just played, like, out here, is my guess. Because it doesn't matter if he disconnects. If he does that, he's dead anyways. I mean, he can't get out. He realistically can't get out. So realistically, he can't really get out. Yeah, I mean, I guess like he has too many liberties here. That would be bad for me. I can't do this because then he'll do this. But I would have to go on the outside. I think I can just connect this though. I think I can just connect this. I mean, there is this move and there is that. Well, no, there's not that move because I can just do this. Never mind. But I think I just connect on the outside. There's really not much he can do. He can extend, but I can just connect this. I mean, what he does down here, like, as long as this doesn't work, I'm perfectly fine. Yeah, so he is actually in a bit of trouble here. I should have just, like, played down here and not connected up here. Because he can't disconnect anyways up there. He would have to play around with me, I guess. Actually, no, I would still do this. Because then he can't really do anything. Remember, this stone doesn't really matter. These two are the important ones. But either way, that's probably not the best move we can make. But I connected just to be safe and ensure the win. But realistically, I should have just played down here. He does that. I do this. At this point, I didn't really have that much hope of killing him. Because I know, like, cutting down here has a bunch of Aji. So I didn't think I could actually kill him. I just kind of was trying to surround him. Just getting this out. I don't care about that. I'm extending out. He realizes that even if he double Ataris here, I'm just going to do this and then just cover. And then he would lose this entire group and maybe live down here, but he would definitely lose anyways. So he's still trying to make life down here. Do that. Then do this. That obviously is bad. And at this point, he's dead. But the thing is, like, there's no actual need to do all of this because, you know, like, you could. I mean, you realistically could do like something like this. Actually, no, not that, but you realistically could do something like this. And I would have to just let you live at this point. Because doing this isn't really viable. Like, there's so many things you can do. Like, doing this is not viable at all. So, like, you can see there you have a problem already. Like, doing that's not really viable. So he could have easily lived on that. You gotta read out those sequences more. And this is where if you play on OGS, the analysis tool makes or break games. Because if you were able to play that out, you would be able to see that. But his reading skill is not good enough. That's why I say, like, OGS games with analysis is not really shouldn't be a ranking game, because it kind of disregards your ability to read. But, you know, like, since he does these moves, he's basically dead. He's essentially dead at this point, because he can't, yeah, he did go out here, but it doesn't really matter. He can do whatever he wants here. But I capture this group, and the game is actually over. So you gotta know, first of all, you gotta know how these corner things play out on these two corners. And, like, the central cutting moves, like, you need to practice your reading moves and basically, like, figure out how to make eyes, because this was an easy eye make right here. He would have lost anyways. He's already down by, like, 70 points, so it doesn't really matter. But the thing is, like, in a close game, and you just want to live, like, you got to know, like, these life and death sequences. He played the wrong way, so he died, but he could have, like I said, made eyes there. So I hope you learned something. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button, and I will see you guys next time.